Welcome back, Embers, or if you're new here, welcome to the Campfire Crew. My name is Stone. My pronouns are they, them. And today, as you can tell by the title, we're doing the March update for my project 10 uses. So if you haven't been here before, this project is not rolling style. We have everything in my entire collection rolled in all at the same time. And the goal is just to get 10 uses by the end of the year on absolutely everything. And it's definitely having it this way means the progress is going to start slow and then ramp up as the year goes on. At least that is what I'm hoping. I think next month will be the first month we finally have some rollouts. Starting off, we have highlighters and eyeliners. I have 3 of each category. We need to use highlighters and eyeliners 2.5 times every month, which means 1 month we need to use it 2 times, and 1 month we need to use 3 uses in each category. So let's start with my eyeliners. Last month, I had a really bad month for eyeliners. I think I only used, one of these one single time. So not great, but we have more than made up for that this month. I said last time that I think I was going to do that. That's because I was already part of the way through the month and I knew I had already made up for it, honestly. But also because we have 2 greens and a yellow, and I love doing green eyeshadow for March. So these 2 especially were going to be things that I used a lot in the month, and I did do that. So let's start with Cosmic Yellow. I have 1 more use in Cosmic Yellow, which means we have 2 uses in this, which means 8 uses to go on this product. I think I'm going to get some more use out of it now that it is getting nicer outside. I think yellow for the spring and summer is going to be definitely a go-to, and it'll be really fun to pull out. So we got that. This is It's Giving Jade, and this is Electric Slide. I have used both of these 3 times in the month of March. And again, my goal was to use across these 3 products, use them 3 times. So we have doubled it in just these alone. We've reached the goal on this just alone and for the usage on this just alone, plus an extra for Cosmic Yellow. So we've definitely made up for last month. I needed 2 additional uses to make up for it last month. So we are not only on track with my eyeliners now, we are ahead of schedule. I'm very excited about that. For It's Giving Jade, I now have 4 uses. Oh, actually, for both of these, I have 4 uses on them, which means I need 6 more uses on both of these. And again, 8 more uses on this one. So far we are doing good with the eyeliners. Then let's go to highlighters, which I put right in front of me. Good job, me. So these 2 highlighters, I have Privilege by Nabla, and I used that 1 time. Same with the Balmoral Beach highlighter by Nomad. I also used that 1 time. As for Privilege, I have now used this 5 times in the year, so I have 5 more uses to go. And then Balmoral Beach, I've only used 3 times so far in the year, so I have 7 more uses to go. I had to think about that for a second. So that is the 2 uses. So we're at the minimum amount of uses. And then I have the shade Lumiere, which is a yellow toned highlighter. It went with a lot of the greens. I thought it was really pretty with greens. We will talk. I didn't use a ton of highlighter because I was using an eyeshadow as highlighter. I have one. It's actually on my cheeks today. That's green. And I use that. We'll get to it when we get to it. But I didn't use a ton of highlighter because I had a green eyeshadow that works for highlighter. But I did manage to use this 2 times. So in total, for this year, I've now used this 3 times, which again means I need 7 uses on this as well. But for highlighters, we are now back on track. I think we're a little bit ahead actually because we used 5 uses. Yeah. So we made up for last month. So we're definitely ahead of the curve in terms of highlighters, which is really good, which is pretty easy to do since I only have 3, so I need 30 uses between all of them. So that's another category that we are back on track for. We are doing really well. I'm very excited to be back on track with that because last month I did not meet my 3 use goal, though I guess I did meet my 2 use goal, but I prefer to, do a little more than do a little less. Okay, then let's talk about lip products. I really did not do well with lip products last month. With lip products, I need to use them 3 or 4 times in every month. Mostly 3, but occasionally 4. Of my 4 lip products, I used 3 of them in the month. So I used the shade Fire. It is the Tower 28 lip gloss in the shade Fire. It's orange, it's really cute. I used this one time for a total of 2 uses, which means I need 8 more uses in the project for this one. But it is more of a summery shade, so I haven't been really using it up until last month was my first time. Oh, sorry. I've used this once. I used it today. I'm just confusing the months. I used it one time. I need 9 more uses, 8 more uses now that I've spoiled it. But I need 9, technically, I need 9 more uses for this product. But I did just start using it last month because I like oranges for the spring, summer, that kind of stuff. So I think this is going to get a lot more use on it. Then we have the shade More Rust, and I used this one time last month for a total of 2 uses. So we do actually, and that's accurate this time. So I have 8 more uses on this shade. And then I used the shade More Stone a lot. I think it's the most neutral. It's definitely the most neutral shade I have. So I was wearing it a lot with the greens. I thought it was a little bit cool toned, kind of grungy-ish. So it went really well with the greens. I ended up using it 5 times in the month of March. I had previously used it 3 times, 2 times in January, once in February, and then again 5 times in March. So I have used this 8 times. So I only need 2 more uses on this product. I definitely think I can get this done, and that's going to be my goal, is to get this rolled out by next month. I think that should be really easy, even though it probably won't be my focus. This time of year, I like these 2. I like the kind of warmer tones, but I think I'm just going to try and get this out just because it would be nice to get something out, you know? So that means I have used lip products 7 times, and I only needed to use them 3 or 4, so we are ahead. Yeah. Last month, I didn't use them as much as I should have, but I definitely made up for it this month. So now we are back on track and even a little ahead on my uses for this. So lipsticks are doing well, or lip products, because I guess I have this lip gloss. Lip products are doing well. I'm very excited about it. I'm very happy to be back on track. Definite sigh of relief for me, and hopefully we can continue March's great progress with these as well. Then let's talk about the last non-eyeshadow product, and that is blushes. So in terms of blushes, I own 5 blushes, and I used 4 of them last month, which is really good. So let's start off with the shade Best Buds. Let me open this for you. By Menagerie. It is a glowy blush. It's pink with kind of a golden sheen. I used this for the first time last month. Glowy blushes for me are also spring summer products, so now that it's starting to get warmer, I definitely pulled this out. This is my first use of the year, so I have 9 more uses left on this, but again, now that we're getting out of winter, this is definitely going to be more of a priority, so I'm going to get a lot more use on it, and I'm glad that I finally used it at least once. Then we have the Glossier Cloud Paint in the shade Eve, and I used this one time for a total of 3 uses in the year. So I've used it once every month for the past 3 months. I'm happy that I even used this at all. I probably used it near the beginning of the month when it was still more winter. I doubt I'm going to get a lot of use out of this until fall hits. So spring, summer, I'm probably not going to get a lot of use out of it. But maybe I'll do like a date night look with this, or like go out with friends at night. This would be, I think, something I could use at nighttime. But if I'm doing my makeup during the day, which is when I prefer to do it anyway, I'm probably not going to be using this. So I doubt we'll see any, or maybe just a little bit of use on this until the year starts to turn to a close. So we're switching out this basically for my glowy blushes. But still, that's 3 uses, and that means we have 7 uses left, which is pretty good. I'm not mad about it because this is definitely my most difficult blush to use. It is definitely a very deep color, and I don't love the Glossier Cloud Paint formula. And then I finally used my favorite blush, the Rare Beauty Glowy Blush in the shade Joy. I love this thing. I finally pulled it out now that it is a good time of year for glowy blushes. I only used it 2 times, but it's only been nice out for about 2 weeks. And even then it's kind of off and on. It'll be nice one day, then it'll be snowing, and then it'll be nice, and then it'll snow. So definitely this is going to start getting more use. I love this thing. This is not going to be an issue at all to use. I love this. I love this blush. I love it. So I'm very excited. I've used it 2 times. This was my first month using it. I've used this blush 2 times this year, so I need to use it another 8, and that is going to be easy and absolutely a pleasure. Then the blush I've used the most last month, this is my other Menagerie blush. This is what this one looks like. This is the shade Persimmon. It is not a glowy blush, and it's a very neutral blush. It's great for the winter, for the fall, for kind of neutral looks. I'll probably be using it less over the summer, but it's not like Eve where I only think of it as like a dark, grungy fall winter thing. It's more just generally neutral. I will probably, again, still be using it less than I have been, but I still probably will use it a few times throughout the upcoming months. I wouldn't be surprised if I had this done by the end of summer this year. The 10 uses, I mean, not actually finishing this product. That would be wild. I have used this in March 3 times for a total of 5 uses, so I'm halfway done with my goal for this year on this blush. I'm really excited. I've really liked using it. I only used blush twice last month when I should be using blush 4 or 5 times. I've used it this month 7 times, and I believe, no, that does not make up for last month, but we are getting closer to having made up how badly I did with blush in February. So next month I'm hoping to use blush about 7 times. If I use it 7 times again next month, I will finally be caught up on blush and we will be ready to go. Now let's talk about eyeshadow palettes. So eyeshadow palettes I should be using 5 or 6 times, mostly 6 times every month. So I have 8 total palettes in my collection, and I have used every single one of them at least once this month, which is really fabulous. So let's start with my Indigo Ink palette. In March, I have used this 2 times. And then in January, I used it 5 times. So I have used this, and none in February. I've used this a total of 8 times. So I only need I short-circuited for a second. I only need 3 more uses in this palette for it to be done. I actually don't think that's going to be too difficult. This, I think it is viewed as a wintry palette, but I think of this row as very summery. This shade is summery. Tide Pool also, I think, can pull really summery. So if I put these together, or I pair this with some other shades, like I have some shades in other palettes that have like a blue reflect to them, I think that I will actually be able to use this before the end of the summer for sure, because again, I do love these shades for summer. It is not strictly a winter palette to me. It is a winter summer palette and maybe a bit springy, but mostly summer and winter for me. So once we get to the summer, I think we will smash through this really easily. We are almost done with this and I'm very excited. I don't think I'm going to be getting it out next month, but I definitely am confident that I will be getting this out by the end of the year, no problem. Then let's talk about my Divina singles. So I have used this palette 2 additional times in March for a total of 4 uses. This one I'm not worried about per se, but I definitely will not be getting use out of this until the fall, or until I need to use the rest of the shades in my No Pan Left Behind series, which I think I will be done before the fall. But I don't think this is going to get use for at least this will not be getting more use next month for sure. Maybe the month after, maybe in 3 months. But I think this is going to be on the back burner for now. I have 4 uses, so I need 6 more to go. Again, not worried about it, but it's not going to be rolled out of the project soon. Then a palette that will definitely be rolled out of this project soon is my Carnival 3 palette. So I used this palette 8 times in March. It is, of course, my pan palette for last year and the year before. It is a 40 pan palette. Again, I have kind of mentioned my No Pan Left Behind. This is a 40 pan palette, so it takes a lot of uses to use all of the shades. So most of these products I No Pan Left Behind and then need a lot more uses to finish my 10 uses for this project. This is the other way around. I'm going to get 10 uses on this before I No Pan Left Behind it. I am positive of it. I have one other use on this. I used it in January, didn't use it in February. And then again, I used it 8 times last month. So we have 9 uses on this. I only have to use one more time in, I believe it's April now, to roll this out. This is a for sure rollout. There's no way I cannot do at least 1 use on this palette. No way. So this is getting rolled out next month. I am positive of it. I am very excited. This is probably going to be this or my Moorstone lipstick are going to be the first things out. I'm so excited to next month definitely have my first product out of this project. Definitely weight off my shoulders. Next, let's talk about my Simply Posh Cosmetics Citrus Punch palette. I only used this one time in March, but I did use it 4 times in February. So we are now halfway through our uses on this again, meaning that I need 5 more uses, but we are halfway through this, and it is the time of year where I think this is going to be fabulous to use. Spring and summer is this palette's time to shine for sure, especially spring. I feel like a lot of the shades don't go super dark, so it's really fun for like a light spring look, but it will also be good in the summer. I don't know if I will be getting this out next month. I'm really focusing on my No Pan Left Behind. I just feel like I can get that project done really quickly. So I'm kind of hyper focusing on that, and I have finished this in No Pan Left Behind. I'm spoiling everything. Go watch that project if you don't watch them both at the same time. Thank you very much. Yeah. So I don't know if I'm going to be hyper focused on this, but maybe then again I will, because there's a lot of really nice shimmer shades in here that I can use while I am No Pan Left Behind in other looks or using other palettes. This is definitely a great companion palette. It's a good standalone too, but it definitely, the shimmers help it, me use it when I'm trying to focus on other shades, just to pull things into complete looks and to make extra sparkly looks. I have it on my eyes today. So we're halfway done with this. I don't think this is going to take too long, probably a couple months, and then it'll be rolled out of the project. I am not worried about it at all. Next up, we've got my Rock and Roll Beauty Def Leopard palette, and I used this a lot last month. I pulled it out in March for the first time once it started to get to spring, because this is what it looks like. To me, it's a very like winter into spring palette. And I ended up using this 4 times in March. And I definitely want to keep using it while spring is still fresh before it gets into summer. So I expect at least a couple more uses out of this by the time we see this project again next month. Okay, last page. We've got the I Heart Revolution, the Big Cheese palette. This is what it looks like. There's only 4 shades in here, so it's not something I can do a full look with, really. I mean, I could probably pull something off, but it doesn't have even any shimmers in it, so I'm probably never going to use this actually genuinely as a standalone palette, because I always put shimmers in my looks. But I did end up using it 2 times in March and then 1 time in February. So I have 3 uses on this, which means I need 7 more. I think this is going to be a great palette for spring and summer. So I am also expecting a couple of uses here or there next month, maybe 1 or 2. Not worried about this so far, not worried about much of anything. I'm cruising by this project, having a great time. But this is where the fun ends. I have this palette. This is my Complex Cultures Fresh Start palette. It is a quad and it is extremely neutral. I used this 1 time in March. This is my first use of it, and I am going to keep it. However, if you can tell by my trepidatious voice, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this past this year. I'm not sure if I'm even going to get 10 uses on this before I declutter it. I am really considering getting rid of this. I'm not going to do it yet, but I just feel like even though the shades are good, they are workable. I think somebody else would really love this palette. I'm not so sure about it because I am not a neutral kind of makeup wearer. And then this gold and this silver are both kind of glittery topper shades without a lot of base pigment. And they're not, I don't know, they're just not quite for me. I'm gonna try to get 10 uses on this, but I'm not convinced this will make it to the end of the year with me. And if it does, I'm not sure if it's gonna make it past then. That might change. We'll see. I am gonna still try and use this 10 times, but I don't know, at some point this might go. Okay, back to the fun updates of palettes I love. We've got my Sephora Wishing You palette, which is very shiny. Sorry about that. It has 5 shades, including a green, 2 greens. I used this palette 3 times in March. This was my first time pulling out this palette, though I probably should have while it was still dark. But whatever, we didn't. So I have only 3 uses on this, which means I have 7 more uses in this project to go. But I do really like this shade. None of these shades have names as far as I can tell, but this palette's upside down. This is a light green shimmer. It's really pretty. I love it as an inner corner. I don't have a lot of inner corner shades just in general in my palette, like in any of my palettes. So if I need a green inner corner shade, this is the one for sure. I think I am probably not going to use it a ton, but if I do need I want a really light green inner corner shade, this is probably going to get pulled out because I don't have another one of those in my palettes anywhere. So I imagine I'll still use this a couple times next month and just like a couple times throughout the year until we get to fall again. Now, give me a second to count how many uses I used the palettes on. I don't know if you guys remember because we've been talking about the palettes forever because I used so many freaking palettes this month. Go me. But I only needed at most 6 uses across all of these palettes to be on track. And I have 23 uses across all of these palettes. 23. It was a really good month for eyeshadow. In fact, it was a really good month for makeup in general this month. This was a much longer update than it usually is. My voice is already starting to hurt in a good way. Like, I'm excited, I'm talking loud, I'm having a great time, but definitely I'm gonna drink some water after this video. But I think I just said 23. I can't remember anything. Okay, bad memory aside, smashed it this month. Smashed it with the eyeshadows. Did really well with everything actually, and hopefully I can keep this progress up. I'm really excited about it. Next month, we are going to have our first rollouts. I am so sure of it. I'm going to make sure at least one thing is rolled out next month, possibly a couple things. And I think we're going to start getting some really good use on all of my stuff, which is great because February, I did not use makeup enough. I was really slacking in February. Even though it's a shorter month, it's not that much shorter. But this definitely makes me feel much better about this project. I was kind of worried last month. I'm definitely feeling much better this month. I think we're gonna smash all my projects this year. Anyway, like this video if you liked the video. Subscribe if you want to see the updates for this project. I'm really bad at outros. Let me know if you're doing this project either on or offline, and tell me how it's going for you. Either way, whether you say hi or not, like the video or not, subscribe or not, if you watched this far into the video, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm having a great time. See you guys later. Bye. Bye now. Goodbye.